bit of a clue here about where we might be going. As you must have realised by now, ladies and gentlemen, we are in Belfast, Northern Ireland. Now, before we get into the details of why we've come to Belfast for a few days, let's have a look what you get for £50 a night and where I'll be staying for the next 5 nights. So there we go, there's the room. To be honest, that's the joys of travelling as a solo person, I guess, really. It's not massive, it's certainly not the Hilton, but it'll do for me. It's clean, it's basic, it's comfy. There's the sink there I am. So there's the sink, what have we got in here? Oh, we've got a little toilet there, that'll do. And this, I assume, must be the shower. Yeah, that looks fine, doesn't it? That'll do me nicely for 5 days, I'm a simple man. Now, why are we in Belfast? So, it's funny actually because I think Belfast has become a bit of a mecca for, I guess, ground hoppers or fans of low-level football such as myself. I don't know whether they've stumbled across this or that they've done it on purpose, but actually within the Northern Irish Premier League, all the grounds are pretty accessible, which is great. You know, they're all about an hour away and pretty easy to get to via public transport. But also their games are spread over multiple days throughout the week. So I'm here for 5 days. I'm going to be watching 4 games starting tonight, and we'll get on that journey shortly. Been travelling since, kind of 5:30 this morning. So I'm going to have myself a little cat nap, and then we'll get out on the journey and find out where we are going for this week's Friday night football. Join me, and let's go and watch some football. Walking to get on the train now. Was looking for somewhere to get a quick beer for the journey. Ended up getting a Starbucks instead with a cup of tea. Very sensible. Let's get on the train and let's find out where we're going. We are on the train. We are going to Londonderry. That is not the final destination, or will be revealed. That's right, we have arrived following a 40-ish minute train journey from Belfast centre. We have arrived in Ballymena because tonight we are going to be watching Ballymena versus Linfield. Linfield managed by Northern Irish legend David Healy, no less. Now, I think this is going to be a tough one for the guys at Ballymena. Obviously, I'll be supporting the underdog as always, but they are on a pretty poor run of form. No wins in 6, I think it was, and their last win was against Loch Gall, who are buried at the bottom of the Northern Irish Premier League. So I think this is going to be a tough one, as I said. Linfield are flying high. They're the powerhouse of Northern Ireland football. I think they're about 18 points clear at the top of the table. Let's see how this gets on. It's going to be interesting to see how Ballymena approach this, actually. Will they go with 10 behind the ball approach, or are they going to do what a lot of these kind of lower league or lower division teams do, and actually come out and try and have a go against Linfield? And that's why I like coming to these types of games. Only time will tell. We're out at the station. Let's get a walk on now to Ballymena Showgrounds. I realised whilst filming that last video at Ballymena train station that I'd lost my hat. Panic over, I've been to Poundland and I have secured a new one, albeit not for £1, it was for £3. So just walking to the ground now. I haven't seen any sign of life yet. I've literally just been in my phone and made sure that was actually in the right place. So let's see if we can find some action as we get closer to the ground. Let's see, we're about maybe 5 minutes walk or so away. Yeah, just walking to the ground now. It's literally 2 minutes away. Absolutely nobody else here. So I've just pulled up my phone. It says it's at Ballymena Showgrounds, which is at the end of this road. We're about an hour to kick off. It's funny really, because you never know really what to expect when you come into these games that you don't know an awful lot about. And I've been watching highlights and stuff like that on YouTube to try and get a feel for the vibe. But obviously, when you come to Northern Ireland, people have said to me, "Oh, be careful what you say. Don't wear the wrong colours," all that type of stuff. Why? Like, where is everybody? Let's see what happens as we get a bit closer. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I am in the wrong place. I don't think I am. We'll see. Oh man, we've arrived. Actually looks like a pretty decent setup. We've got the training ground here, and the stadium. I'm not sure if the camera can pick it up. It's just behind it. Question is, how do I get in? I'll ask these guys on the door, see what they've got to say for themselves. Not a bad setup though, to be honest. Pretty impressed. We have arrived, officially. Now let's see if we can actually get into the ground. Fire up footballogy as always, and I'm not just going, I'm actually there. Come on Ballymena, let's do this tonight. Here we go. It's nice. Bit of Argentina vibes on this. No more football shirts. I'm not buying any more football shirts. Honest. That may change at some stage. This is all very nice. Good setup. Giving me old Northwich vibes actually. Reminded me of the Victoria Stadium a little bit. Now let's have a wander into the stadium and have a genuine first look. I've not seen this yet, so let's have a look. Let's get my first reaction to it. I'm not sure really what I was expecting, and I hadn't looked at this online anyway. Yeah, this is nice. This is a bloody cracking setup for the level they're playing at. This is brilliant. Yeah, it's definitely giving me old Victoria Stadium vibes. It really is. I could just see this stand here being like the Dane Bank. And that stand being the main stand. Yeah, I knew I'd like it here. I'm excited about this. Anyway, now we've had a look, let's go and grab a beer, shall we? Maybe a Guinness, another Guinness, let's do that. Teams are out, and apparently it is a much changed Ballymena team. They've signed a fair few players in the transfer window, and the guy was saying that actually they might try and have a go. They're not going to sit with 10 behind the ball, so we could be on for a good game here. Let's have a look at the Linfield team. No familiar names here either. Apparently they've got a lot of injuries, so we'll see what happens there. Should be an interesting game anyway. Well, Ballymena, we are underway.
The goal scorer for Linfield, number 29, Matthew Fitzpatrick. The goal scorer for Ballymena, Joe Rocks.
Well, it's half time at the Ballymena Showgrounds, and it's 1-1. That doesn't tell the story. Ballymena, I felt, started a little bit shakily. Three at the back wasn't really working. The pitch is incredibly heavy as well, and an awful mistake at the back gave Linfield the lead. The ball just trickled over the line as the defender was trying to get back to it. But Ballymena equalised well. The front two, are playing well together. Kind of a little and large partnership, a big guy and a fast lad. I think they're working them quite hard. Actually, the wing backs are working Linfield quite hard as well. They've had 3 or 4 clear-cut chances. Took the goal well. They should be 3 or 4-1 up. The big question, as always, is, I guess, fitness, the heavy pitch. I think Ballymena may rue those missed chances. I can still feel that Linfield are going to nick this. Probably after 60 minutes, something like that, with a bit of fitness comes into play. We'll see though. It's been a great half of football. Atmosphere a little bit flat. Maybe that's because there's nobody behind the goal and because of the nature of the stand. But yeah, it's been a great game of football. It's live on BBC as well. Have you guys been watching it? Let's see what the second half's got in store for us. Got underway for the second half. He's had another look. As soon as he kicks this, he's going to blow. No, he didn't. That was disappointing.
Ballyminute Football Club, I'd like to take this opportunity to say players, officials and supporters of Linfield Football Club are safe and peaceful journey home tonight.
Just got back into the centre of Belfast. Man, that was a cracking game tonight. So Ballymena 2, Linfield 2 final score. It's a shame that Ballymena couldn't quite hang on for the win. Linfield equalised in 90 plus 12. Heartbreak for Ballymena. A really crucial win it would have been for them. Fantastic game though, great spectacle. Atmosphere a bit strange, a bit subdued, but really enjoyed it overall. It was absolutely Baltic, it was freezing. Luckily I've managed to warm up. I'm going to go and get a couple of beers now, and then that's me done for the night, and we go again tomorrow. Ooh, well, I'm up, I'm fully charged, and I'm at 'em, ready for day 2. What a day we had yesterday, day 1 here in Belfast, Northern Ireland. A fantastic game between Ballymena and Linfield, 2-2. Such a shame that Ballymena just couldn't hang on, I guess, and get that crucial victory. So came back into town, had a couple of pints in Wetherspoons. By 12:30, I was absolutely zapped. Came back to the room, got a good kind of 8-10 hours sleep. Fantastic, and just what the doctor ordered. But we don't rest. We go again today, day 2 in Belfast. We have got another game to watch, and today we're off to the Oval. We are going to watch Glentoran versus Dungannon Swifts, and this is 2nd v 3rd in the Northern Ireland Premier League. Really looking forward to this one. Looked on Google Maps, the Oval, or the Bet McLean Oval, as it's officially called, is about a 50-minute walk from where I'm staying. So, you know what? I'm going to get my steps in, I'm going to do the right thing, and I'm going to walk it, and we'll have a look around as well, see if we find anything else of interest. Maybe a few pubs, who knows. But first, I need some food, so let's get out and let's get a fry up in us. Come on, let's go watch some football. Day 2. St George's Market there. Major market in Belfast. Might be worth a look maybe Monday or Tuesday daytime. We'll see. Now we're down by the banks of the River Lagan here. Some runners going past. Very keen this morning, not my type of thing. I'll stick with the walking in between the football grounds, that'll do me just fine. And then shortly we'll be crossing over that onto the other side of Belfast and heading to the Oval to watch Glentoran. Nice day for it, I must admit, very mild. Bit of sun in the air. Lovely stuff. Now I think the camera's just about picking that up, but you can see in the distance there the cranes of H&W Welders. I think I've got this spot on, and no doubt people in the comments will correct me if not, but those are the guys that built the Titanic, because the Titanic was built here in Belfast. And I was looking on the Footballogy app last night. H&W Welders have also got a football team. They're playing at amateur level. Wouldn't it have been great to go and watch them today? Sadly, their game clashes with today's game at Glentoran, but it would have been a great story. That's a story we're looking for here on this channel, so maybe we'll come back and we'll watch a few lower league fixtures. I'm going to have a look and see if we can find some of the other games maybe on Monday as well. There might be a Monday game that we can go and watch, we'll see. But what a fantastic story, that's a piece of history right there. Still here getting my geek on the just on the bridge over the River Lagan here, and H&W Welders is Harland and Wolff Welders, and they actually play at the Blanchflower Stadium, which is named after Spurs and Northern Ireland legend Danny Blanchflower. How about that? Yeah, well, that's something we've learnt today. Something I'll share with you here. I actually thought Danny Blanchflower played for Man United. Sorry, Spurs fans. We have officially entered East Belfast. Just walking down the road to the ground now. Just had a little beer in a bar just around the corner. Pretty nice place actually. Yeah, I was just looking at, well, just researching both teams, I suppose. And interestingly, I noticed that Connor Bradley, who's obviously doing very well at Liverpool at the moment, and probably heir apparent to Trent Alexander-Arnold's right back role, was actually on the books at Dungannon Swifts. How about that? Well, that's something I've learnt today. Anyway, walking to the ground, let's see what we find. And given that the Glentoran shirt is green and black, I might be in the market for buying one. Let's see how we get on. I was just looking into Glentoran there as well. If you're of a certain vintage, you'll recognise these names. They were once managed by former Northern Ireland international and Man City defender Alan Kernaghan. Now that reeks of Merlin Premier League 95-96 sticker albums to me, that name. And also I saw that they were also managed by former Bournemouth striker Warren Feeney. Controversially managed by them as well, as I think a lot of people, from what I've read, didn't like him because of his connections to Linfield. So yeah, a couple of minutes away here. Let's see what awaits us when we get to the Oval. Here we go, we're arriving. We're at the Oval, the home of Glentoran. Now the guy that I was speaking to at Ballymena last night, I was telling him how impressed I was with the setup down at Ballymena. He reckons it's the best in Northern Ireland apart from Windsor Park, which is obviously the national stadium. And he said, you'll get quite a different experience at the Oval. And I think I can tell that already. But hey, it's all part of football's wonderful fabric, isn't it? Let's get ourselves in the shop and see what they've got for us. The Glentoran Superstore. Got to be a shirt in here, hasn't there? Well, that was a bit strange. I don't think I've ever heard of a milk bar before. Basically, people drinking pints of milk in there. Okay. Oh, where can we get that from? That's what I want. Here we go, there is an actual superstore here. Presumably one that just won't be full of people drinking milk. Let's have a look what's inside. Well, that's ended in failure. Not an extra large home shirt to be seen, which is a shame because they're green and red. It's kind of green and black. It's kind of Northwich colours. Maybe I'll have a look online. But hey, it's not as if I need more football shirts, is it? So maybe I've dodged a bullet there. Oh well, on with the day. Oh yes, this is a very old school experience. I absolutely love it. Doesn't get much more, I guess, proper football than this, really, does it? Wonderful stuff. Look at that old stand, that's proper, that, isn't it? These old terraces here. Yeah. Look at that embankment over there as well behind that goal. See if we can zoom and get that. Brilliant. Absolutely love it. The Oval, you've won my heart. Come on the Glens, we are off and running for the first half. Standard set piece kickoff. Game's underway, but let's have a little look at the teams. Not really anybody that I recognise from the Glentoran team, apart from this Sule guy who I've seen on Instagram has been getting rave reviews, and I think he's back-to-back Northern Irish Premier League Player of the Month. So let's keep an eye on him. And there was one name that jumped out at me from the Dungannon Swifts team, and that is Gail Begirimana, number 34. He was at Newcastle, I seem to think, and then did the rounds in Scotland. So let's keep an eye on him as well. Anyway, away we go. Let's see how we get on with the game. Half time, Glentoran 0, Dungannon Swifts 0. Very, very tight game. Glentoran marginally being better. Let's hope for something a bit more lively in the second half. I'm going to change sides for the second half. Hopefully that brings us some goals. I'm going to go round to the other stand. I was just chatting to a lad in the bar there at half time, and he was saying to me that Glentoran are the first ever winners of the European Cup. I thought, nah, I'm not sure I'm having that, sunshine. They are the first ever British winners of a European trophy. They won apparently the Vienna Cup in 1914, which is not the European Cup. But hey, another interesting stat for you. So hopefully the second half is going to be better than the first, because the first was pretty dour, truth be told. I'm going to wander around and get in position. Look at that, isn't it a wonderful stadium? You know, it's all very well going to Ballymena last night and raving about the facilities, and that's important for the future and the development of clubs and nations. But it's stadiums like this that just make you fall in love with football. This is why we love the game. Look at that. That's why we love the game, isn't it? Beautiful. Come on then, Glens, for the second half. Second half underway, and as you can see, I have now changed ends. I'm sat with the Dungannon Swifts fans. Let's hope for a better second half, come on. And just before we get deep into the second half. How great is that stand? I just absolutely love that stand. Minutes left. It is still 0-0. I don't think either keeper has made a save. To be fair for the Glens, Soulé, the number 6 in midfield, has been excellent. He's really good on the ball. I just wonder if he could be used a little bit further forwards, actually, because he's calm on the ball, he can pass it, he's got a bit of pace as well, and he's powerful. Seemingly not. He's sat in front of a back four all match, really. And the lad at the back for Dungannon, Curry, he's blocked, tackled, headed, everything. He's been very steady. Kind of bit of a typical centre back for this kind of level, I think. Those are the two players that have stood out for me. Other than that, not a lot has really happened here. I expect this to finish 0-0, probably 7 or 8 minutes to go. Well, the Glentoran goalkeeper got man of the match. I don't know how or why. I don't think he's made a save. But I suppose he hasn't done anything wrong, which is half the battle. One last look at this fabulous stadium. I just think it's amazing. This is football, isn't it? You know? I love it. Shame about the game, though. Glentoran have scored and it's an absolute rocket. The left back thundered it from the edge of the box. The long throw into the box was nodded down by my man Curry at the back. It broke to the left back for Glentoran. He cracked it on the half volley and it whistled into the top corner. What a brilliant goal. Brilliant stuff. What a goal. And I have to say, I said it was going to be 0-0. Glentoran have just about deserved it. They have been the better team. What a goal, deserved goal, and it looks like it's going to be a Glentoran victory now. I think they just about deserve it. Well done. What a goal, what a hit, son. A drop ball. Yeah, that's it. And you have to say, I think Glentoran deserved that. I really do. The Dungannon Swiss fans aren't happy. They're booing, but I don't think they can have any complaints. I don't think they offered enough. I think Glentoran were the better team and they won it with a sensational goal. Not a great game, but they ground the win out. Well, just walking back to the bar now. What can you say? It wasn't a great game in truth. Glentoran did just about deserve the win. They were the ones that were trying to win it. There's not really a lot to say about the game. Anyway, get some food, get a couple of beers now. You don't think this is the end of it, do you? Because there's another game tomorrow. Let's catch up then. Good morning. It's day 3 here in Belfast, Northern Ireland. And we've got another game today. Of course we have. We are off to Solitude. What a fantastic name for a ground, by the way. Which is the oldest ground in Northern Ireland, to watch Cliftonville, managed by Jim Magilton, who, I guess, again, if you're of a certain vintage, such as myself, you'll remember him as a good kind of left-footed Premier League player. I remember him at Southampton. Did he play for Man City at one stage as well? And I think he had a stint at a couple of clubs in the UK as a manager as well. I seem to remember him at QPR once. So he is the manager of Cliftonville. and today they are playing Portadown. So let's get out there. Let's get our walk on. We'll walk to the ground, have a bit of a look around, see what's going on there, watch the game. It's a cold one, so I'm going to need to wrap up again. Let's get out there and see what happens. Come on, join us. Let's go and watch some football. Just walking up to the ground now. Took the opportunity whilst I was wandering along to have a bit of a read about Portadown, see if there was anything or anyone I recognised connected with that club. Two names stood out for me. They were once managed by Pat McGibbon. Man United fans, and again football fans of a certain vintage will probably remember his name. A bit of a championship manager, 97-98 signing, wasn't he? So Pat McGibbon, I think he also he ended up playing quite a few hundred games for Wigan in the end as well. So yeah, Northern Irish international, so he was a name that stood out as someone that once managed them. The other name that stood out for me was Matthew Tipton, who perhaps not so familiar, but he was a player and manager for Portadown, and had a decent low-level career. I remember him at Macclesfield. So interesting. Apart from that, though, couldn't really find too much on Portadown. I'll ask around at the ground and see what the fans have got to say. I'm no doubt they'll have some stories for me, or some famous names to mention. Let's see. Let's keep walking. And as if by magic, we are here. We are at Solitude, the oldest ground in Northern Ireland and home of Cliftonville. Let's get into the ground and let's see what's around. Ground's coming into sight now. I love these old stadiums. It reminds me of watching Northwich in the Conference and Conference North. These stadiums that are in the middle of housing estates, I don't know, they just have something special about them, don't they? It makes me think Luton as well, this. I love it already. We're inside. Pretty good setup here. It's an old style location, but it has been modernised. It's pretty cool, actually. Have a look round. Seems unusual, but we are actually live on Sky this afternoon. Hopefully you're tuning in. Hopefully it's going to be a good game for the cameras. A bit of a strange area for the players to run out of. It's a shame that stand over there isn't in use. That was where I wanted to sit, really. But I've taken my position and and I'm pretty happy with it.
Number 13, Chris Lowe. Number 16, Shay Gordon. Number 28, Steve McGinnis.
Here we go. What is that mascot, by the way? We are underway at Solitude. Going to be an interesting game, this. I looked at the league table. They're both very, very close in terms of positions and performance. I haven't seen the Portadown team yet, but the Cliftonville team is out, and we've got Portadown in 6th. They're higher in the league than Cliftonville, who are in 7th. Portadown on 38 points and Cliftonville on 35 points. I think this is going to be another tight game. Let's hope it's not as dull as yesterday's game over at the Glens. Anyway, we're underway. It's absolutely freezing here as well, by the way. So I'm going to put my gloves on, sit down and watch the game. Just having a look at the Cliftonville side. I must admit, not any names there that I'm particularly familiar with. But apparently the lad Wilson up front is the guy to look out for. Let's see. Let's see. There we go. 1-0 to Cliftonville. And I have to say it had been a deserved goal, actually. Yeah, well deserved. They've been the better team. 1-1. Well, a cross into the box. The number 20 kind of backheeled it in, jumping, just flipped a hunger heel. Brilliant goal, to be fair. Great finish. And we go to 1-1 here at Solitude. A good little game, to be honest. And that is half time. So it's half time here at Solitude, and it is Cliftonville 1, Portadown 1. Strange game, really, because not a lot really happened, apart from 2 good goals. Cliftonville worked the Portadown keeper a couple of times. Portadown threatened, but couldn't quite make the final pass. It is freezing here, but nevertheless, we continue. Let's see what the second half brings. Let's see if we can go and get some food as well, because I am starving. Look at this, burger in a bag. Classic football fodder, this. This is going to be horrible, but I am dying, so let's get it down me. Let's get it down before it goes bloody cold as well. A fan in the bar earlier was quite proud to tell me that a guy called John McAleary in the mid 1800s, he was the guy that actually introduced football to Ireland. I assume, obviously, the island of Ireland. And he later went on to found Cliftonville, which is why they are the oldest club in Northern Ireland, and Solitude is the oldest ground in Ireland. So there we go, interesting stat.
Coming in the 50th minute, the goal scorer.
Good goal, lovely move. I didn't quite catch it, but it was a great goal. 2-2. Hell of a game on here. Bit of a goalkeeping racket from the Cliftonville goalie. 10 minutes to go. Are we going to get a winner? 10 minutes to go. We've had late drama in both of the games that we've watched so far. We've got 10 minutes to go, and we're going to have more late drama. Who knows? 10 minutes to go. Cliftonville surely going to push on for the winner here at Solitude. We've got to. Bit of a strange one though. They did take their striker off, Wood, who I thought was playing quite well, and they took him off. A strange one. 10 minutes to go. Come on. Sky getting set up for full time by the looks of it. Ah man, got to be better than that with your corners, with a minute to go. Late quarter down chance here with what? About time called, Don't play this short, put it in the box. Another corner. Time is up.
The closing business will be a minimum of 3 minutes additional time.
Well, there we have it. 2-2. Final score, and I'd say that's just about a fair result, you know. Just about a fair result. Just walking back into the city now. Final score, Cliftonville 2, Portadown 2. And I think given the position in the table, you probably could have drawn the conclusion at the beginning that a draw or maybe a score draw was going to be the right result. And I think it was the fair result. Both goalkeepers looked very dodgy. The Cliftonville second goal was a very, very nice move. I didn't quite catch it on camera, sadly. And Cliftonville had a good striker, a guy called McWood, who was playing well up front, but they took him off after about an hour. I don't know why. Also, Solitude, great old ground that's had a bit of modernising work done to it. It's not quite like the Oval yesterday, but a really, really nice place, great setup. It was, however, the coldest place on earth today. I've got my gloves on here. As you can see, I've got the legendary hat and hoodie combination keeping my head warm as well. Oh my lord, I'm desperate to get back into a pub now and get some warm and get a Guinness in me. So that is Friday night at Ballymena, done. Saturday at Glentoran, done. And Sunday over at Cliftonville, done. We're having a bit of a break tomorrow. My God, my legs need it from all this walking around Belfast. So I'm going to have a bit of a rest, get some good food, and chill out for a bit, generally. And then Tuesday night, we are back in action. And this is a bit of a big one, actually, because we're going to Windsor Park to watch Linfield take on Larne. And there might be, I'm not promising anything, but there might be a bit of an interesting backstory to be told around Larne, connecting to somebody that I know that is on trial with them at the moment. Let's see anyway. I'll catch you then. See you Tuesday. Well, it is now Tuesday, and boy oh boy, I needed that day of rest yesterday on Monday. The Friday, Saturday and Sunday, I looked at my phone, the tracking app. I was doing 15,000 steps a day. Now, I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that are kind of going, yeah, but for me, that's quite a lot. And come Sunday evening, I was absolutely goosed. So I was tucked up in bed nice and early, got a good sleep, got up Monday, rested my legs, did some work, got some quality food, had another early night, and here we are Tuesday, refreshed and ready to go again. So where are we off to? We are off to Windsor Park tonight, and we're going to be watching Linfield, managed of course by David Healy, that we saw on Friday night away at Ballymena, and we're going to be watching them this time against Larne. And the other interesting thing about Larne is that they are not managed, but kind of ran by a guy called Nathan Rooney. Now, about this time last year, I was in Gibraltar watching football over there. Fantastic and highly recommended, by the way. If nobody's done that yet, please do so. And Nathan Rooney was one of the coaches that stood out to me as someone with a bit of quality and a bit of nous about him. And he was managing Bruno's Magpies, who kind of hit the headlines recently. They did quite well in Europe. I think they got quite a big game against FC Copenhagen at one stage. They did lose over 2 legs, but a massive, massive success for Bruno's Magpies and a team from Gibraltar. And Nathan Rooney masterminded all that. He's now here as kind of director of football at Larne. I believe that is until he gets his UEFA Pro licence. He's very much the man in charge, though, so I'm led to believe. So, yeah, we've got David Healy from Linfield, and we've got Nathan Rooney, who's not actually the manager, but kind of is, at Larne tonight. It should be an interesting clash. So, come on, let's go. Now, just before we do head out, obviously I've been here 4 days now. I'm going home tomorrow. Whilst I've been at the different games, I've been kind of chatting to the various different fans and stuff like that. It's interesting. There doesn't seem to be a lot of positivity for Linfield, let's put it that way. I spoke to some fans at Glentoran on Saturday, and well, they basically said that Linfield were a rugby team. That just pumped it forwards all the time, clipped it into channels, pumped it forwards and tried to follow in on the second ball, which was ironically exactly how they played against Ballymena. And they said it's a shame, really, because everybody's got a lot of respect for David Healy here, but he's kind of damaging that by managing like a rugby coach. Was one of the bits of feedback that I got. So I think the jury's out on Linfield, let's put it that way, but I am in the Linfield end, or with the Linfield fans today. It was the easiest way to get a ticket. And I think what's interesting, or what's going to be interesting, is what the atmosphere is going to be like at Windsor Park, because all these games I've been to, I would say there's not been any more than 2,000 at any of these games. And my social media, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, has been absolutely battered with adverts from Linfield, come and get behind us, kids for a quid, all that type of stuff. So, bearing in mind they play at Windsor Park, it's going to be a strange atmosphere there if there's only a few thousand. And Larne, I don't think, are going to bring loads. So I wonder what it's going to be like. Maybe they'll only open 2 stands or 3 stands, or a couple of tiers or something like that. But it's going to be interesting. Anyway, we'll go. We'll have a look. See how it plays out. Nope, not today. We are going the other way. That's right. In front of us here, we've got the Queen's University of Belfast. And I understand from the tour bus yesterday that I was on that Liam Neeson once studied here. Maybe that's where he acquired those specialist set of skills. So I'm actually just walking down what I believe is called the Royal Mile here in Belfast. And apparently that's the nightlife district, with all the pubs, restaurants, clubs, etc. Really useful to find that out when you're going home tomorrow, eh? And I've already done my nights out. Oh well, maybe next time. Let's go, come on. It also said on the tour bus, which I thought was interesting and obvious when you think about it, that the buildings built predominantly out of brick are obviously pre-Good Friday Agreement, and the ones that have been built predominantly out of glass are post-Good Friday Agreement. I'm sure you don't need me to explain to you why that is. But I thought that was interesting, albeit pretty obvious. We have arrived. We're walking up Windsor Avenue. At the end of it, we will get to Windsor Park, the home of the Northern Irish football team and Linfield FC, where tonight we'll be watching them take on Larne. Let's keep going, and it is freezing here. Welcome to Windsor. Let's keep going. I don't know about you guys out there, but when you're arriving at the football for a midweek, a night match, and you can just see the floodlights over the top of the houses in the stadium, yeah, it gets exciting then, doesn't it? I love to see it. Well, there it is in all its glory. Windsor Park is upon us. Let's get a little bit closer, have a closer look around. Looks smart though. It is going to be interesting on how this atmosphere plays out tonight. This is a big old stadium. It's the national team stadium, no less. And I've not been at a game where there's more than a few thousand there yet. So this is going to be interesting. Let's keep going. Maybe grab another Guinness pre-kick-off. I've given up on Google Maps now, but I can see the stadium, and surely I'm not going to go that far wrong, am I? Looks like it's up here over this railway bridge, and away we go. You can actually see in the window of the Linfield club shop there, their badge, and on that is a castle, and that is Windsor Castle. Now that is a bit of a doff of the cap to where they play, which is obviously Windsor Park, so it felt appropriate to have Windsor Castle on the badge. Again, makes sense, I suppose. That's it, we are here. Welcome to Windsor Park, home of Linfield Football Club, where tonight they will take on Larne. Let's get inside, let's have a bit of a better look around. A few interesting bits outside the ground here about historical Northern Ireland games. Time here when they beat Yugoslavia in 1975. Brian Hamilton with the winner. And he later went on to manage Northern Ireland, I seem to remember. Now this one was a cracker. Obviously beating Israel at home there. But note the goal scorer, Jerry Armstrong. What a legend of Northern Irish football. And was it Spain 82? Where he scored his famous goals? I think he earned himself a move to Spain off the back of that. I remember him again, if you're of a certain vintage. Probably need to stop saying that. I remember him as part of the Spanish La Liga coverage when it was on Sky. Very, very good. Here's a good one here. Probably quite pertinent for tonight. David Healy scoring his hat-trick against Spain. And then look at that. Northern Ireland 1, England 0. Healy again. Remember that? That was when Sven was manager. England were terrible that night. Look at the Spain lad in the background there as well. Healy cracks that goal in. Brilliant picture. Well, let's hope he's smiling tonight, old David Healy, and they play a little bit better than they did the other night. So what's the final one here? I don't remember this, I must admit. Northern Ireland 3, Greece 1. Ah, okay. So this is after they qualified for the Euros. Stephen Davis with 2. He must still be playing somewhere, surely. Yeah, very good result. Some Linfield stuff here, let's move on to that. Interesting bit of info about Linfield here I was just reading. Particularly the amount of grounds that they've played at. So Windsor Park. I mean, they've been at Windsor Park since 1905, so you can't really argue with that. But that's what, 4 grounds that they've played at since they were established in 1886. What have we got here? The Setanta clean sweep. Remember Setanta? Bloody hell. Who have we got here? Glenn Ferguson. He's a bit of a legend around these parts in Linfield. Yeah. And who have we got here? Legendary captains. Bloody hellfire. Noel Bailey, 1,013 games. Good God, I think that's the most I've ever heard of anybody playing for a club. See if we can just get that in the light a bit better there. 1,013 games. Wow. Jamie Mulgrew underneath with a mere 639 games. God, Jamie, what were you doing? Bloody hell, that's impressive, that. Noel Bailey. I'm going to look him up when I get back online. 1,013 games, wow. A few technical issues, but we are in. Let's get ourselves up to the concourse, see if we can find a refreshment. Okay, teams are starting to filter out now. Here's the Linfield team. I must admit, even from Friday night, there's not a lot of names that stand out there for me. It wasn't a very, I guess, recognisable game. Nobody really made an impression on me on Friday night. Let's see how we get on tonight. I'll have to have a look for the Larne team. Larne team is out as well. Again, I had a look at the squad. There's no names I recognise there. I'm not going to claim to know any of these guys. Larne got beat at the weekend, and that was a bit of a surprise. I was expecting them to give Linfield a run tonight, and it'd be a close game. But I'm not so sure now. Yeah, let's see what happens. Time, £6.40 at Windsor Park. Hey, it's kind of the end of the trip, isn't it? Just the 6 o'clock wake up for a, I think, 9:30 flight tomorrow morning. We'll be alright though, won't we? Not the best, but not the worst actually. At least it's nice and cold. Cheers, everybody.
Good evening and a very warm welcome to Windsor Park, your home of Linfield Football Club for this evening's Sports Direct Premiership clash between Linfield and Larne. The team each is as follows: starting with Linfield in goals, 51, Timo Walsh, 2, Sam Roscoe, 3, Ewan.
Oh, good save.
Minutes at a time. That's 2 minutes at a time.
He's off. Straight ready him. That's not him that was sent off. This is the guy that was sent off here, as you can probably tell. I don't know, he did lunge a little bit. Taking his time without going off. Larne down to 10. Get yourself in the bath, son. I don't know who's booing what there. Well, it's half time here at Windsor Park. Linfield 0, Larne 0. And it's another one of those games. Not a lot has happened. Linfield haven't been great again. It's been a very close game. Both teams got into the box well. Some nice crosses, some nice movement. I can't remember either keeper really making a save. Larne down to 10 men, as Gary Neville would say, ooh, it's rash. It was a heavy touch and he lunged on to try and kind of make it back. Did he get the ball? It's one of those old school ones. If you watch football in the 90s, you probably would have gone, oh, come on, he got that. You can't get away with that nowadays. Not at this level, or at any level. Yeah, look, it was a red card. It's going to be a big ask on for Larne, I think, in the second half. I said it on Friday, I think I'll say it again. I expect Linfield to push on in the second half, be a bit better, probably secure the win. Right, let's get back to the second half, see what that's got to bring. Like I said, big task ahead for Larne.
Look at the ball.
Linfield have got an extra man and they've got nobody up front for that set piece. As that lad behind me just spotted. That was so bizarre. He did well there. 1-0. player over the 2 games I've seen.
Oh, you see we're forward, tactical forward there.
Linfield are now time wasting. Well, just got out the ground. Game over. Linfield 1, Larne 0. I don't think you can really argue with the result. Second half, Larne didn't even try to get close or compete. Pinned everybody behind the ball, just trying to hang on. The goal was a bit scruffy. Larne arguing for a foul, and the Linfield guy just drove it through the keeper's legs. Would say Linfield managed the game well towards the end, taking it in the corner, time wasting. Another thing I would just add actually was I think in both games that I've seen Linfield play, both tonight and on Friday against Ballymena, they brought on a sub. I'll have to have a look at him in more detail, but maybe he's a veteran player or something called Jamie Mulgrew. I thought he was excellent. Now he's a chunky lad. Maybe he can only do 20 minutes here and there, but he looked like Linfield's best player in 2 games. Yeah, I think that's it for me. Gonna walk back to the main strip now, get a couple of pints of Guinness, and then get myself back to the hotel, and it's back home. Really enjoyed Northern Ireland, but please, can you be a bit warmer? Goodness me. Right, until the next one.